Well, thank you for staying with us. We told you earlier that we'll be talking about the role Queens play, and this is because we just had the Royal Queens inaugural conference, which held for the first time ever in Nigeria on the 30th of March. 120 Queen royal women came together to look at conversations on building society and in commemoration of the Black Women's History Month. Indeed. So we have the founder of Olori Afolabi Foundation joining us. She's joining us virtually, however, and she'll be speaking to us on this and that of Onife's Queen organized conference, which is held. And we'll also be looking at that conversation from a place where, you know, in Nigeria, for instance, what is the role of queens and how do they also ensure that the community grows? Good morning, Your Royal Highness.
Good morning. It's nice to be here.
It's nice to have you. So, first of all, congratulations on the conference that just held. I see it was remarkable, and it was quite interesting to see a lot of women in the royal, family, the monarchy, usher that conversation on Black Women's History Month. First of all, can you tell us what inspired that conference?
What inspired that conference was our intention to mark Black Women's History Month, which is the month of March. From the beginning of the month of March to the end, it's for women, Black Women History Month, to celebrate them, people who have achieved so much in their communities, in their countries. We just wanted to acknowledge their contributions and their achievements, and also to draw inspiration from what they have done and also do same in our communities. So Olori Ronke Ogunwusi, the wife of Ooni of Ife, who is also the founder of London Fashion Week, both of us met and we brainstormed and we came up with the idea to celebrate women and use the opportunity to ask our women to impact their communities. That was what inspired it.
Oh, great. We know the pivotal role the traditional institution plays, in shaping narratives and also, maintaining change in our communities. In pre-colonial Nigeria, for example, there are instances where the indirect rule system contributed to the success of peace in our communities because, of course, the role of traditional institutions. The sort of support that you give to traditional institutions, can you give us some examples of how some of your activities are geared towards, amplifying change in the various communities?
Is it my personal activity or the general activities of Queens?
Yes, as Queens, collectively.
Okay, collectively as Queens, our roles is that of a mother. We are supposed to show love to the women, the children, the youth. We are supposed to be close to the people because we are at the grassroots. We know them so well. We are close to them and we share their problems. So as Queens, we are supposed to use our power to find a purpose, and the purpose is usually to impact in our communities because there are lots of problems. So many social vices, so many social problems, socioeconomic problems, and we are in a better position to solve this problem because we understand it. For instance, in my community, we have the problem of teenage pregnancy. We have poverty among women. So what I did, for instance, was to first identify these problems and then do a problem analysis. If you don't understand the problem, you will not know how to solve the problems. So after the problem analysis, then you now strategize on how to go about solving them. At the grassroots, there is so much to be done. Royalty has bestowed on us the power to solve these problems. So it is for us royal queens to now find our purpose. If we have power and we don't have a purpose, the power is wasted. We are not there as royal queens to just enjoy the good things in the palace alone. We are there to help people in the community. We are there to solve the problems in the community. We are there to support our husbands who are already at the front line of solving some of these problems. Then we should also support them in areas where they cannot really do so much, especially in the areas of women and children. In the areas of malnutrition, a king may not be able to do much because he does not know does not really understand motherhood. But as a mother, as a queen, when you see a child that is malnourished, you know instantly what the problem is. And teenage girls too are closer to women than even to the men. So we try to help these people in our communities and empower the women. A lot of women are so poor. So we have to do a lot in the area of youth and women enterprise so that our community will be at peace. Poverty is one of the reasons why there's so much crime in the society. Poverty is also one of the reasons why teenage girls are out of school and they get pregnant even at the age of 14. So there's a lot of work for us as royal queens to do. It is not just to be laid back. No, we should draw inspirations from ancient queens like Queen Amina of Zaria. She fought wars. She was a fierce fighter. She had about 20,000 man army, and she conquered territories for her community. We should also draw inspiration from people like Queen Nzanga from Angola. She fought the Portuguese and liberated her people. Even in Ghana, we had Queen Ashantewa. And here in Nigeria, we have Queen Moremi of Ife. She was also a great queen who liberated her people from consistent oppression and raiding. So if we look at these women, what they did, although their times are different from ours, so the kind of wars they fought are different from ours. So we are not in the era of using guns like them to go and fight wars and claim territories. But we are still fighting wars. We still have a lot of social wars, like I've already listed some of them. So we should devise our own means, our own weapons of fighting these wars. That is what we came together to do, to encourage each other, to inspire each other, and to ask each other to go back to our various communities and then do something for them. It does not matter how small. You can start small. For instance, during COVID-19, a lot of businesses collapsed, especially at the grassroots, because they are just petty traders, and they didn't have money to come back to business when COVID was over. And many of them needed to restart. So I did a no-interest loan for some of them, 20,000 naira, to help them come back. And none of them defaulted, meaning that they are serious about what they use the money for. And if we could do that, even 5,000 can help a poor trader to start a vegetable business, to start an ogi business, or even akara, or to start selling bread. So that's what we're discussing at the conference, that do something. You don't have to wait till you have 1 million naira to be able to help. Even with 100,000, you can help 5 people. That's what we want to be happening in our society.
Okay, I remember during the opening address, Her Royal Highness Ronke Ogunwusi, wife of Ooni of Ife, did say something, and she talked about the impact of Oloris in national development. But I want to quote her. One of the things she said, our husbands, the kings, are in the forefront of solving problems, but we should also rise up and support them. And I want to ask the question, you've talked about empowerment, you've talked about the role of women in terms of the economy, but again, I like you cited a lot of examples of queens. I mean, the example of Queen Nefertiti, wife of Akhenaten in Egypt, was really key because she was very powerful as a mediator, as a peacekeeper, as a soft-spoken person who united religions and regions. What is the role of queens, especially in this climate, when it comes to mediation and peacekeeping?
We have a great role to play in the mediation of peace, especially in the area of gender-based violence, in the area of child abuse, in the area of abuse generally for women. When there is a high rate of gender-based violence, the first place the women will want to come to is to the queen. When children are maltreated, the first place the parents will want, the child will run to is to the palace to demand to see the queen. So we play a great role in ensuring that there is peace in our communities. If there is no peace, we cannot rule, we cannot reign, and the community will be in disarray. So that's why we need to do a lot to ensure that there is peace, especially among the youth. You mentioned Olori Ronke. In Ife, Olori Ronke, together with the Ooni of Ife, they have this Ajire hub, which they do free training for the youth of the community and even youth outside Ife. The youth from my community, Apomu, they have also benefited from the from the free training, and they are not collecting a dime. Sometimes ago, I was even told that the Ooni of Ife was giving the trainees stipends, but some of them took advantage of it and some did not. Some only came to collect the money and disappear. So they stopped giving them the stipend for transport. So if these youths are occupied, if they are busy, if they have a skill, there will be peace in the society. There will be peace in the community. Because when there is no money in their pockets, that's when they start thinking of what crime they should commit, or they will start being a source of nuisance to the community.
All right. In terms of influence, I hear you say that it's a powerful collaboration. And then in the conference, I saw a lot of queens. In fact, I saw Olori bars. I saw families that I only read of in newspapers and perhaps had prints of magazines. But it was fascinating to see them come together. 120 of them from all over Nigeria. I don't know how you pulled that off, but it was really remarkable. So going forward, how do you hope to keep up with this dialogue, with this conversation, and the outcomes that have come from this conference? What next?
We are creating a WhatsApp group for all of us who attended so that we can continue the conversation on that platform, and then we can monitor each other. Olori, Ronke, and I will also visit all the Oloris who came to see what they are doing in their domains. That would be like trying to check up on them and find out one-on-one what they are doing, what impact they are already making after the conference. And on that day, Olori Ronke also announced that there will be a microfinance for women, and we're already working on that. And it's all the members of our platform, which is the Royal Queens, they will be beneficiaries of loans from that microfinance for women. But first, we are starting with the registration, so we know how many of them are interested and how many of them are on the platform.
Thank you so much for your time. I would like to draw this interview to a close, and thank you also for continuing to use your position individually and collectively to drive change in your community, and we can all but wish you well. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, that was